Let me tell you something, there are times in life when you think you're doing the right thing by helping others. And sometimes you are. But not all help is a blessing. Some people don't want to be helped, they want to use you, manipulate you, or drain you. You have to understand that there are certain types of people out there who will only hold you back and lead you down the road of frustration, stress, and regret. Now, listen up. It's not about being selfish. It's about being wise enough to know that you can't save everyone. You need to protect your energy and your future. There are certain people who, no matter how much you give them, will never appreciate it. You got to keep your focus on the people who are trying to build, who are trying to grow, who are pushing forward just like you are. So here it is, 7 types of people you should never help. And I'm telling you, if you know these types, you'll know when to walk away. You'll know when it's time to say, I'm sorry, but I can't help you. 1. The chronic victim. The chronic victim is one of the most draining and disempowering types of people you can encounter. These individuals consistently view themselves as the victim in every situation, believing that the world is out to get them, that others are responsible for their misfortunes, and that their struggles are beyond their control. They are trapped in a constant cycle of negativity and self-pity, and no matter how much help you offer, nothing seems to change. At first, it might seem like they genuinely need help. They have problems that need fixing. And as empathetic individuals, we naturally want to help others. But the chronic victim doesn't seek help to heal, they seek it to remain stuck in their victimhood. The most dangerous part of this dynamic is that, often without realizing it, helping them only perpetuates their unhealthy mindset and behavior. The chronic victim's mindset is one of entitlement, expecting the world to offer solutions for their pain, problems, and challenges. They're quick to point out everything that's going wrong in their life, but never seem to take ownership of their actions or decisions that may have contributed to their circumstances. They rarely reflect on the things they can do to change or improve their situation. Instead, they direct all their energy toward complaining and blaming others for their difficulties. While we all face difficult situations in life, the chronic victim chooses to focus on their problems, not solutions. Instead of seeing challenges as opportunities to grow, they see them as insurmountable obstacles. This mindset keeps them stuck in a cycle of hopelessness, unable or unwilling to move forward. They hold on to their pain because it's what they know. Change requires effort and courage, and it's easier to stay in a place of comfort, even if that comfort is born from suffering. One of the defining characteristics of the chronic victim is that they never seem to improve. They receive help time and time again, but nothing changes because they don't believe in their own power to change. Their identity becomes so intertwined with their victimhood that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. They attract people who will validate their struggles and enable them to remain in their current state. As much as it may hurt to watch someone in pain, it's essential to recognize when someone is stuck in this cycle and is not ready to break free. Constantly helping a chronic victim only reinforces their reliance on others for solutions, rather than encouraging them to take responsibility for their own lives. This is a hard truth, but one that is necessary for personal growth, not only for the person who is stuck in victimhood, but for you, the one offering help. Helping a chronic victim means investing an enormous amount of time and energy, only for it to be met with resistance, excuses, or a lack of action. At some point, you have to ask yourself, are they helping themselves? If the answer is no, your help may be doing more harm than good. This does not mean abandoning people in need. It means being discerning about how and when to offer help. Sometimes the best way to help a chronic victim is to encourage them to face their reality and take responsibility for their actions. It's important to recognize that being a chronic victim is often a defense mechanism. It's a way for the individual to avoid personal growth and to escape facing the hard truths about themselves. However, personal growth only happens when individuals are willing to confront their challenges head on and accept responsibility for the changes they need to make. 2. The energy vampire. The energy vampire is one of the most toxic and draining individuals you'll encounter in life. At first, they may seem like just another person in your circle, a friend, a colleague, or even a family member. But over time, you'll start to notice something unsettling. When you're around them, you feel drained, exhausted, and mentally drained long after the interaction has ended. They don't offer support, encouragement, or positivity. Instead, they suck the life force out of you. Energy vampires are people who constantly seek attention, validation, or sympathy without ever reciprocating. They thrive on negative energy, drama, and chaos. When they interact with others, their focus is always on themselves and their own problems, no matter how trivial or repetitive. They have an insatiable need for attention, but they lack the self-awareness to understand the toll they take on others. They'll share their endless complaints, rants, and frustrations without a care for how it affects those around them. But one of the most challenging aspects of dealing with energy vampires is that they are often incredibly skilled at disguising themselves. They can be charming, engaging, and charismatic, and you might find yourself feeling sorry for them in the beginning. They might have a sad story, a recent setback, or a tough situation that makes you feel like you need to help them. But as time passes, you'll realize that their problems are always someone else's fault, and they never take responsibility for the role they play in their own lives. The energy vampire's favorite weapon is drama. They thrive in chaos. If everything is calm and peaceful, they'll find a way to stir the pot and bring tension into the situation. They might start gossiping about someone, creating conflict where none existed, or playing the victim to get others' attention. They are masters at creating a sense of urgency and emotional turmoil that drags everyone around them into their whirlwind of negativity. When you're around them, it feels like you can't breathe, like you're constantly on edge or overwhelmed by their constant need for reassurance. Emotionally, energy vampires are takers, not givers. They have an endless list of problems, but rarely offer any support or empathy when others are going through tough times. Instead of celebrating your wins, they might dismiss your accomplishments or make them about themselves. If you're feeling good about something, they'll quickly shift the focus back onto their struggles. In the presence of an energy vampire, your successes feel hollow and your joy feels diminished. What's worse is that these individuals rarely change. They might promise to improve, to seek help, or to make positive changes, but deep down they are not interested in true transformation. They are comfortable in their role as the victim, the perpetual source of drama, and the one who draws all the attention. No matter how many times you offer advice or support, they continue to return to their old habits, seeking more and more from you without ever making the effort to help themselves. Being around energy vampires can leave you feeling mentally, emotionally, and physically drained. You might find yourself constantly overanalyzing your interactions with them, second-guessing your actions, and wondering why you feel so exhausted. These vampires feed off your energy, and the more you give, the more they take. It's a toxic cycle that can leave you feeling powerless and frustrated. So how do you handle an energy vampire? First and foremost, you need to set boundaries. Protect your energy by limiting your interactions with them. Recognize when you're being drained, and don't be afraid to distance yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you constantly give without receiving, you'll eventually burn out. By setting boundaries, you protect yourself from being their emotional sponge. Another key strategy is to refuse to engage in their drama. Energy vampires thrive on conflict and negative energy. Don't let them drag you into their emotional turmoil. When they try to stir up gossip, negativity, or make everything about their issues, don't participate. Instead, remain calm, centered, and focused on positive outcomes. Avoid giving them the attention they crave. finally, don't feel guilty for cutting ties. It's not selfish to protect your mental and emotional well-being. In fact, it's a sign of self-respect. If someone is draining you, it's okay to walk away. You owe it to yourself to surround yourself with people who uplift you, inspire you, and bring positive energy into your life. In conclusion, energy vampires are people who will consistently drain your time, energy, and positivity without offering anything in return. They thrive on negativity and emotional chaos. Recognizing an energy vampire and taking steps to distance yourself from them is crucial for maintaining your own well-being. You deserve to be surrounded by people who support you, encourage you, and bring light into your life, not those who suck the life out of you. Protect your peace, set boundaries, and keep your energy for those who truly deserve it. 3. The entitled one. The entitled person is someone who believes that the world owes them something. Whether it's a job, a promotion, respect, or simply special treatment, they expect to receive it without having to work for it. They feel entitled to privileges, rewards, or recognition because of who they are, or because they think they deserve it, not based on any specific merit or contribution. Unfortunately, this mindset can be incredibly toxic, not just for the entitled person, but for everyone around them. At first glance, the entitled person might appear confident, ambitious, or deserving of their wishes. However, their sense of entitlement is not driven by hard work or self-improvement, but by the belief that others should cater to their desires. They might think that because of their status, background, or personality, they deserve more than what others get. This mentality can manifest in various areas of life, including personal relationships, workplaces, and social settings. One of the most defining characteristics of the entitled person is that they have an inflated sense of self-worth. They believe that they are more deserving of resources, time, and energy than others, often with little to no regard for fairness or equality. They might expect preferential treatment simply because they think they are special or unique, regardless of their actual actions or character. In relationships, the entitled person often believes that others should prioritize their needs over everything else. They may expect friends, family members, or colleagues to drop everything to help them, but they rarely reciprocate. They assume that their wants and needs should always come first, and they may become angry, frustrated, or manipulative when things don't their way. Their relationships become one-sided, others give, and the entitled person takes. In the workplace, the entitled individual often expects promotions, raises, and recognition without putting in the necessary effort or demonstrating the required skills. They might think that because they've been around for a certain amount of time, or because of their personality, they are owed special treatment or a specific position. They may get frustrated or upset when things don't go as they expect, not understanding why others are rewarded based on their hard work and merit, not their perceived entitlement. The entitled person doesn't usually acknowledge the effort or hard work that others put in to achieve their goals. They tend to disregard the fact that success is often built on years of dedication, sacrifice, and resilience. Instead, they focus solely on what they can take or receive from others, and they often feel resentful when things don't go in their favor. They don't realize that the world doesn't owe them anything, and that only through effort, contribution, and respect can they truly achieve anything meaningful. A crucial element of dealing with entitled people is recognizing that they rarely take responsibility for their own shortcomings. They are quick to blame others or external circumstances for their failures, and they don't see the need to change their behavior. They lack the self-awareness to understand that their sense of entitlement is the very thing holding them back from achieving true success and fulfillment. In the end, the problem with entitlement is that it fosters a sense of laziness and dependency. Instead of taking the time to learn, grow, and put in the hard work required to succeed, the entitled person is consumed by the idea that things should come easily to them. They don't understand that true success is built upon self-discipline, perseverance, and the willingness to overcome obstacles, not the belief that others owe them something. To deal with the entitled person, it's important to set clear boundaries and recognize the difference between healthy self-worth and an inflated sense of entitlement. Helping someone understand that they must earn respect and rewards through their actions and efforts, not through expectations, is crucial for their growth. In some cases, it may be necessary to distance yourself from entitled individuals who drain your energy and focus only on what they can get from you. In conclusion, the entitled person is someone who believes that the world owes them something simply because they exist. This belief often leads to unhealthy relationships, frustration, and a lack of personal growth. True success comes from hard work, resilience, and earning the things you want in life, not from expecting others to give you what you feel you deserve. Recognizing and addressing entitlement in ourselves and others is key to fostering a mindset of gratitude, humility, and personal responsibility. 4. The manipulator. The manipulator is one of the most insidious and dangerous individuals you can encounter. Unlike more overtly aggressive people, manipulators work in the shadows, using subtle tactics to influence, control, and deceive those around them. They may appear charming, likable, and even trustworthy, but their true intentions are to get what they want at the expense of others. Their actions are rooted in self-interest, and they are skilled at bending others to their will without them even realizing it. At first glance, a manipulator can seem harmless. They might present themselves as helpful, caring, or even self-sacrificial. However, their true motivation is never about genuinely helping others. Instead, they use kindness, empathy, and attention as tools to secure their own desires. Manipulators know how to play on people's emotions, exploit their vulnerabilities, and create a sense of indebtedness in others. They thrive on gaining control over others through tactics such as guilt, fear, and emotional pressure. One of the most common manipulation tactics is guilt tripping. A manipulator will often make you feel responsible for their problems or convince you that you owe them something, even when you don't. For example, they might say things like, "After everything I've done for you, how could you let me down?" Or, "I've been there for you all along, and now you're not helping me when I need it most." The goal here is to make you feel like you're a bad person or ungrateful for not giving them what they want. This is a form of emotional blackmail, and it forces you to act in a way that benefits them, not based on what's right for you. Another manipulation tactic is gaslighting, which involves making someone doubt their own perception or reality. A manipulator might twist facts, deny events that actually took place, or project their own flaws onto you. They may say things like, "You're just overreacting," or "That never happened, you're imagining it." The purpose of gaslighting is to create confusion and insecurity in the other person's mind, making them question their own thoughts, memories, and decisions. Over time, this can erode your self-esteem and make you more dependent on the manipulator for validation and guidance. Playing the victim is another powerful tool in the manipulator's arsenal. They'll often portray themselves as the one who is always suffering, struggling, or being wronged by others. They may exaggerate their hardships or highlight their sacrifices, all in an effort to garner sympathy and support. When you feel sorry for them, they gain the upper hand because you'll be more likely to give in to their demands or make concessions to ease their suffering. This creates an emotional bond that can be difficult to break, as the manipulator constantly reinforces their position as the one in need. In relationships, manipulators are skilled at creating dependency. They know how to make you feel like you can't live without them, making you feel as though your well-being and happiness are tied to their approval. They'll isolate you from others, subtly undermine your confidence, and convince you that they are the only ones who truly understand you. This is a form of emotional control that can keep you stuck in unhealthy, one-sided relationships for longer than you might realize. The manipulator also often uses emotional outbursts or silent treatment as a way of controlling situations. They might fly off the handle over something small, creating unnecessary drama, Or conversely, they might withdraw entirely, refusing to communicate until they get what they want. This behavior can leave you feeling confused, anxious, and constantly walking on eggshells. You begin to tiptoe around them, trying to avoid their emotional outbursts or cater to their moods. All because you don't want to rock the boat. Recognizing a manipulator is crucial for protecting yourself from their influence. They are rarely upfront about their intentions. Instead, they work behind the scenes, subtly influencing getting what they want through deceptive means. If you notice patterns of guilt tripping, gaslighting, or emotional control, it's time to set boundaries and stand up for yourself. When dealing with manipulators, it's essential to trust your instincts. Don't be afraid to question their behavior or call them out when they cross boundaries. Setting clear, firm boundaries and refusing to engage in their games is the best way to protect yourself from manipulation. The key is to remain calm and confident in your decisions, remembering that you are not obligated to meet their needs if it comes at the expense of your own well-being. In conclusion, manipulators are dangerous because they often operate in subtle ways, using emotional tactics to control and influence others. They prey on vulnerability, play the victim, and distort reality to get what they want. Protecting yourself from manipulators requires self-awareness, strong boundaries, and a commitment to honoring your own needs and feelings. You deserve to be in relationships where mutual respect, honesty, and genuine care are the foundation, not where manipulation and deceit rule the day. 5. The negative naysayer. The negative naysayer is one of the most destructive people you can encounter in life. They are the ones who constantly point out flaws, focus on problems, and dismiss any possibility of success or happiness. They are not just pessimistic, but they actively discourage others from trying new things, taking risks, or pursuing their dreams. Their negativity can be deeply disheartening, as they seem to have an endless supply of reasons why something won't work, why you can't succeed, and why everything is doomed to fail. At first, a negative naysayer might seem like just a person who expresses a little doubt or concern. However, over time, you'll notice that their negativity is pervasive and unrelenting. They don't simply offer constructive criticism. They belittle others' ideas, dreams, and goals. They question everything, not out of genuine concern, but because they lack the belief in possibility or progress. Their default setting is skepticism, doubt, and criticism, even in the face of something new or innovative. One of the most frustrating things about the negative naysayer is that they are often highly vocal in their opinions. They can be found in almost every group or setting, where they'll loudly voice their doubts about any new project, idea, or endeavor. They are the ones who say, "It'll never work," or "You'll never be able to do that," or "That's too risky." Their words can feel like a weight on your shoulders, making you question your decisions and your ability to succeed. This constant barrage of negativity can slowly erode your self-confidence, especially if you are already dealing with self-doubt. The problem with the negative naysayer is that their words are often based on their own fears, insecurities, and past experiences. They may have failed in the past or struggled with their own dreams. And instead of learning and growing from those experiences, they choose to project their limitations onto others. They see the world through a lens of failure and limitations, which means they believe that anyone who tries something new or different will face the same disappointment they've experienced. Because they've never believed in themselves, they refuse to believe in anyone else's potential either. The negative naysayer can also be incredibly manipulative. They might use fear to dissuade you from taking chances. For example, they might say things like, "What if you fail? What will happen then?" Or "This could end badly for you." They know that fear can paralyze people, and they will use that fear to keep you from moving forward. They thrive on seeing others remain stagnant and avoid risk, as this validates their own decision to stay in their comfort zone. By keeping you stuck in the realm of fear and self-doubt, the negative naysayer doesn't just stop your progress, they keep you from growing as a person. When faced with a negative naysayer, it's essential to understand that their negativity has little to do with you and everything to do with their own outlook on life. They are trapped in their own mindset, one where failure is inevitable, dreams are unattainable, and success is something for others, not for them. They project their limitations onto you because they cannot fathom the possibility of success. Their doubts reflect their own inability to believe in something greater than their current situation. The best way to handle the negative naysayer is to simply not let their words have power over you. It's important to develop the inner strength to stand firm in your own beliefs and goals. And don't allow their doubts to influence your decisions or derail your dreams. Instead, seek out people who encourage, uplift, and inspire you to keep moving forward, even in the face of obstacles. Surround yourself with those who believe in possibility and who want to see you succeed, not those who only focus on what could go wrong. It's also crucial to recognize that negativity is contagious. If you spend too much time around negative people, their energy will begin to affect you. Their pessimism will cloud your thinking and make you second-guess yourself, creating unnecessary self-doubt. In these situations, it's essential to guard your mindset and protect your energy. The negative naysayer thrives on draining others of their enthusiasm and hope. If you allow their negativity to seep into your thoughts, it will prevent you from achieving your potential. Lastly, never internalize the negative comments of the naysayer. Their opinion does not define your worth or your ability to succeed. The most successful people in the world are often the ones who face the most criticism. I think about the innovators, the dreamers, the trailblazers who pursued their passions despite the doubters. If they had listened to the negative naysayers, they wouldn't have achieved what they did. Your dreams are valid, and your goals are achievable. Don't let anyone's negativity tell you otherwise. In conclusion, the negative naysayer is a person who thrives on pessimism, doubt, and criticism. Their words are designed to prevent others from pursuing their dreams and ambitions, rooted in their own fears and limitations. The best way to deal with them is to not allow their negativity to influence your vision or your path. Stay focused on your goals, surround yourself with positivity, and never let the doubt of others overshadow your belief in yourself and your potential. 6. The perpetual procrastinator. The perpetual procrastinator is a person who repeatedly delays tasks, avoids responsibilities, and continuously puts things off until the very last moment. They often convince themselves that they will get around to it tomorrow, or that they work better under pressure, but deep down they know they are simply avoiding the task at hand. While everyone procrastinates from time to time, it's the chronic procrastinator who allows this behavior to control their lives, stalling personal growth and success. One of the most frustrating things about the perpetual procrastinator is their tendency to waste time in the present, even when they know there are pressing things to be done. They might waste hours scrolling through social media, watching TV, or engaging in activities that offer temporary satisfaction but lead to nothing of value. They procrastinate because they're not comfortable with the work or task at hand, and they convince themselves that delaying it will make it easier. In reality, the more they delay, the more overwhelming the task becomes. The perpetual procrastinator often deals with feelings of guilt and stress, knowing they are avoiding work but unable to break free from the cycle of procrastination. The constant mental tug of war between wanting to get things done and avoiding them takes a toll on their mental well-being. As the deadline approaches or the task becomes more urgent, anxiety sets in, and the pressure to complete the work becomes more intense. However, rather than being motivated by the pressure, many procrastinators find themselves in a state of paralysis, feeling incapable of moving forward. The work becomes a mountain that seems impossible to climb, and this overwhelming feeling only worsens as time ticks away. A major reason for procrastination is the fear of failure. Many procrastinators struggle with perfectionism, and are afraid of not meeting their own expectations or those of others. They might delay starting a project because they fear it won't be good enough, or they worry about making mistakes. This fear can be paralyzing, making it impossible for them to take the first step. As a result, the task continues to loom over them, often growing in size and difficulty the longer they delay. The perpetual procrastinator also tends to be easily distracted, making it difficult for them to stay focused on the task at hand. In the age of constant notifications and distractions, it's all too easy to get sidetracked by emails, messages, or social media. Rather than working toward their goals, the procrastinator gets lost in a cycle of distractions, rationalizing that they'll get back to the task soon. This constant jumping between tasks leaves them with little to show for their time and can create a sense of unfulfillment and frustration. Procrastination also often stems from a lack of clear goals or a feeling of overwhelm. When a task feels too big, complex, or unmanageable, it's easy for a person to put it off and ignore it. They may not know where to start or feel paralyzed by the many steps required to complete the task. Instead of breaking it down into manageable chunks, they delay, hoping it will resolve itself on its own, only to find that it doesn't. The longer they wait, the more impossible the task seems. To overcome procrastination, the key is to take action, to start small and build momentum. Instead of waiting for the perfect time to begin, the procrastinator must recognize that there is never a perfect time. The moment to take the first step is now. Rather than waiting for the overwhelming task to feel easier or more comfortable, the task must be tackled head-on. The best way to defeat procrastination is to set specific, achievable goals and break them down into smaller, manageable tasks. This makes the work feel less daunting and allows the individual to experience small successes along the way, building confidence and momentum. A helpful technique is to use the 2-minute rule. If something can be done in 2 minutes or less, do it immediately. This helps get the ball rolling and can create a habit of taking action. Procrastinators must also learn how to manage distractions. This may mean setting boundaries, such as turning off notifications, using apps that block distracting websites, or creating a dedicated workspace where focus is prioritized. By removing the obstacles that trigger procrastination, it becomes easier to focus on the task at hand. Additionally, cultivating a growth mindset is essential for overcoming procrastination. Procrastinators often avoid tasks because they fear failure, but embracing the idea that mistakes are part of learning can help shift this mindset. Instead of focusing on perfection, individuals can focus on progress. Each step forward, no matter how small, is an achievement. When the fear of failure is replaced with a sense of curiosity and determination, procrastination becomes less of an obstacle. In conclusion, the perpetual procrastinator is someone trapped in a cycle of avoidance, fear, and inaction. They waste time, stress themselves out, and make their task harder than they need to be. However, with self-awareness, clear goals, and a shift in mindset, anyone can break free from the chains of procrastination. The key is to take the first step, no matter how small, and commit to making progress every day. Overcoming procrastination is not an overnight process, but with dedication and persistence, it is entirely possible to become a person who takes action rather than waiting for the right moment. 7. The user. The user is a person who thrives on taking advantage of others, often without giving anything meaningful in return. They tend to view relationships as transactional, seeking to extract value, whether it's time, money, resources, or emotional support, without offering any real investment or consideration in return. They don't build genuine connections, but rather focus on what they can get out of a situation. At first glance, they may appear charming, pleasant, and supportive, but as time goes on, their true nature becomes apparent. They are always looking for ways to use others for their own benefit. A hallmark of the user is that they rarely offer help or support without expecting something in return. While they might be quick to ask for favors, they are notably absent when it comes to offering help to others. They tend to be selective in their relationships, choosing those who are most likely to serve their interests. The user may never express gratitude, as they feel entitled of whatever they receive. They will take and take, but when the time comes to reciprocate, they disappear or make excuses. One of the most damaging aspects of the user is that they often manipulate others' goodwill for their own gain. They know how to play on emotions, making others feel guilty for saying no, or making them feel obligated to help. The user may exploit your kindness or vulnerability using tactics like flattery, guilt, or emotional blackmail to get what they want. They often disguise their selfishness behind a facade of friendship or loyalty, making it hard to see their true intentions until it's too late. Over time, the toll of being around a user can be exhausting and demoralizing. As they drain others emotionally and physically, they also create feelings of resentment and frustration. The person who is constantly giving to a user might begin to feel unappreciated, taken advantage of, and ultimately burnt out. They might find themselves giving more and more, all while receiving little to no support or appreciation in return. The imbalance becomes toxic, leading to feelings of betrayal, anger, and sadness. The user also tends to have an extremely self-centered view of relationships, often failing to see or acknowledge the needs of others. They will come to you with their problems, but when it's your turn to talk or share, they quickly lose interest or even ignore your concerns. They might promise to listen or offer help, but when you need it most, they're nowhere to be found. Their focus is always on their own agenda and how they can benefit from others. If you are struggling, they might see it as an opportunity to take advantage of your vulnerability rather than offering support or compassion. What makes the user particularly insidious is their ability to keep people around even while exploiting them. They often use manipulation to keep others in their lives, making them feel indispensable or valuable. They might feign interest in your successes or act overly concerned about your well-being, all the while seeking something from you, whether it's material, emotional, or social advantage. In doing so, they create a false sense of security, and it's often difficult to recognize when they've crossed the line from being a friend to being a user. Recognizing a user in your life can be difficult, especially because they are often very skilled at masking their true intentions. However, some red flags can give them away. If someone repeatedly asks for help, but never offers any assistance in return, or if they only reach out when they need something, it's a clear sign that they are using the relationship for personal gain.